Thank you, Brother Ed. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Love and Understanding's Circle of Love, our Sunday gathering. And as always, I invite you to turn within with me, and let's begin with a prayer. Let's feel the magnificence of this day, not outside of ourselves, but deep within our body, our mind, and our soul. Let's know what it is a magnificent day the Lord has made, and that we rejoice in it. Just to be here, to be awake, aware, to wake up on this side of the grass this morning. So wonderful. So we bless this service and each other and this entire planet and universe, because we're all so intimately connected that what we think, say, and do right here has an impact everywhere. And so it is. Well, we're very blessed. Do a little improvisation with our one and only Lynn Fuqua. Lynn, it's all yours.
Good morning, all. Let's see what happens today. Okay. Da 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 dum da 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 dum da da do do. Da ba dum dum da ba da 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 da. Num da 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 dum dum da do. Na 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 ba dum da na ba do 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 do. Da ba da dum da ba da da do 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 no. Ba da ba da 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 ba do do da ba do da ba do da ba do da ba do 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 da ba dum dum dee da na man do no 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 da ba dum da dum da ba dum da do da ba da do da ba do 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 ba do do ba do do ba do 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 ba dum dum da ma ba da dum da 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 ba dum da 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 ba do 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 do
Thank you, Lynn. What a beautiful voice. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Lynn. Today's reading is from a really amazing person who lived from 1475 to 1564. An artist, a poet, a sculptor, just an amazing individual named Michelangelo. The greater danger for most of us is not that we aim too high and miss it, but it's that it is too low and we reach it. Today's talk is called Optimism. And I've been accused by a number of people of being too optimistic, that I create an environment of hope for people who supposedly I shouldn't be doing that for. And I think that's nonsense. Because hope is and optimism is what propels the human spirit. Last week I talked about a woman who was a neuroscientist, an amazing lady, a Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor, who had a hemorrhage on the left hemisphere of her brain, and it shut it down and it caused it to be offline. And through her belief that she could communicate to the 50 trillion cells in her body, and specifically to the ones in her left hemisphere, that communication, asking them to help her get back her memory and to begin being the person that she was again. Over the course of 8 years, it did exactly that. She was optimistic, where people thought it was impossible. I've heard thousands of stories about people who were sent home from a hospital told that in days they're going to die. And in actuality, they lived a long and fruitful life. Optimism, your belief in something. It's absolutely true that if you believe that you can't do or be something, you're right. And it's also true that if you believe that you can be or do something, you're also right. Going back to Old Testament scriptures, Proverbs chapter 23 says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so he is." Jesus later on took that same verse and said, "It's done unto you as you believe." You are the one that creates things in your life. One of the blessings that we as individuals are is that we're creative beings. How many thousands of books have talked about how your thoughts become things? Think of all the artists, the inventors, the leaders of just about everything. Believed that they could accomplish something, and they did, even when other people said they couldn't. How many times have you been told that you can't do something? I remember when I was in grammar school, I had a teacher who didn't have a lot of faith in me. And I had applied for and was accepted into a prep school, Manhattan College Prep. I wanted to be an electrical engineer. And this teacher sat down with me, it was a Dominican nun, looked me in the eye and said, "Why do you want to do that?" I said, "Because I want to be an electrical engineer." And she said, "Even if you're accepted, even if you get in, you'll never graduate. You don't have what it takes to do that." And actually some tears started coming down my eyes because I really, she was busting my bubble. But I was a stubborn little kid. I was accepted. And I went to that school. And it was hard. It was really, really hard. Because it was on the college campus. They treated you like college students, and it was a shock to my systems. But every time I wanted to give up, I thought about those words that she said. Why are you doing this? You'll never succeed. Not only did I graduate from the high school, but I graduated from the college as an electrical engineer. Don't ever let what other people's opinion of you stop you from what you feel that your heart is telling you to do, to be. Because they don't have any insight inside of you, only you do. What's good for them may not be good for you. And what's good for you may not be good for them. That's why I tell a lot of parents, and I try to live this way with my children. Don't tell them what they need to be. Ask them what they love. What do they enjoy doing? And then support them in allowing them to do everything that they feel great about doing. Because it's so true that if you are doing something you love, you never work a day in your life because you're just enjoying yourself. I love what I do. Everyone needs to move in the direction of what they love. Don't let anyone stop you. You have within you everything needed to complete the task. I don't have the education, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, Stop. Take one step in front of the other. And what you find is, you look back and you've taken 10,000 steps and you're just about there. Just by taking one in front of the other. It was Confucius that said, a journey of 10,000 steps begins with one. So remember that your life is not dictated by someone else. Your life is guided by what's inside of you. The other end of that is I've met so many people who are so negative and pessimistic. I knew this one gentleman that he couldn't understand. He would be complaining about everything and had no comprehension of why. As he complained about things, that more stuff just continued to befall him, one after another, after another, after another. Yet, there was not awakening there to understand that he was creating all of those things by his negativity. If you believe you can't succeed, you're right. What is this you want? What thrills your heartstrings? Say, well, I don't even want to think about that because I'm too old, I'm too young, I don't have money. Stop. What thrills you? What thrills you? And when you start to move in the direction of what thrills you, all of a sudden you see doors just seem to fly wide open for you. Because you're moving in the direction that you've been guided to in your heart. I have a dear friend, and I know he's going to watch this on YouTube. I told him from the day I met him that he had a gift. He was one of the funniest people I had ever met. But not just funny, intelligently funny. Was able to see things from a really hysterical point of view, but made you think. I love those types of people. I love those types of jokes where I'm laughing and I'm learning at the same time. And along the way, he's dipped his toe in the water of being a comedian. He even got an amazing mentor. All I'm telling him, even right now, It's never too late. Be who you're supposed to be. Allow the brilliance, the gifts that are within you to shine. Don't listen to anyone else. Listen to your heart. What thrills you? This person can be on the phone with somebody and make their day. He could pass somebody on the street and say something and change someone's attitude into a smile in a heartbeat. He does it for me all the time. He does it for people that he meets all the time. It's just about taking the first step. And God bless him. He's committed to doing that. He believes that he can. And it's done unto you as you believe. You know, there are so many examples for us of people who saw something and just believed it in their heart. You know, the story of Walt Disney, his famous saying is, if you can dream it, you can create it. Look what he did. He created this whole fantasy land of Disneyland and Disney Worlds and all around the world and the pictures and cartoons and so on. He brought people who were creative together. He gave them an opportunity to take their gifts and to blossom. That's why was he successful? Because he did that himself and he created an environment for others to do it. One of the most prolific inventors of all time was Thomas Edison. And he was, at one point, you know, he was grilled because he wanted to discover and invent a light bulb, something that would be this candle that would not go out. And a reporter said, you know, you've had 10,000 failures. He said, no, I've had 10,000 ways it didn't work. The next one will be the one that works. You have to be in that state of mind. You have to believe that anything is possible. You can't get there if you've grew up in a pessimistic attitude. It takes incremental pieces to get there. But begin now. Believe in who you are. Believe that no matter what's going on around you, that there's a purpose and a reason for it. I remember looking back on my life, and I do this on a regular basis, and I think of the things that seem to be like failures, and they were the things that led to my most successful times. When I began my business career in computers, I was with a computer company, very large. It was like the number 2 computer company in the world compared to IBM. And there was a gentleman who had a deep impression on me. I'll never forget him. His name was Marv Olson. Marv was a product manager for one of the products that we sold. And he had such a positive attitude. He'd say, Marv, how you doing? He says, I am great. I have never had a bad day in my life. I'm like, wow, this guy's amazing. Either he's crazy or, wow, he always had a smile on his face. I mean, he was just an amazing person. Now, what I came to find out was the organization I was attached to in New York. The person who was at the top of that organization, the district manager, was an extremely corrupt person. He was skimming money off the top of things. He was taking money from the salespeople. He was taking bribes. He was doing all sorts of stuff. What that taught me as an experience was he was what I didn't want to be. And then I looked at Marv and said, you know, this guy is such a great guy. I really like this guy. He's a pleasure to be around. And then one day, they fired him. And I remember meeting him in the hallway saying, you know, Marv, I'm really going to miss you. And he looked a little down, and then he looked up and smiled at me. He said, you know, I just want to tell you something. When one door closes, another door opens to a much greater opportunity. He says, I could feel that this was probably needed. And I just thought, you know, this guy is such an optimistic person. Well, about a year later, I hadn't heard from him. I'm interviewing for another job because I wanted to get out of that organization. And I'm interviewing with this company that's this upcoming computer and word processing company, which was brand new and all blah, blah, blah. And I'm interviewing with all these people, and it looks like I might get the job. And they said, well, you have to meet the vice president first. And in the door walks the vice president with a big smile on his face. It's Marv Olson. And he said, James, welcome home. I said, wow. It was one of the best jobs I've ever had in my life. It was amazing. I sold computers on Wall Street, all over the financial industry. It was an amazing opportunity. And he was right. He went from something to something a lot better. That's just examples. There's something inside of you that may be pulling your heartstrings right now. Put aside all the negativity. Put aside what everyone else thinks about it. If your heart is telling you you need to move in that direction, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and take that leap of faith. All it is one step. Find out a little bit more. Open yourself to doing it. Build your portfolio of whatever information. Like my friend who's a comedian, he has now a whole library of jokes, and he's putting together his show because he's going to be doing one, and he'll be doing a lot more, and you're going to start knowing this person because he is taking one step in front of the other. Don't let that gift that you have inside of you die a stillbirth. It's inside of you to be fulfilled. Your life is here for you to totally learn, grow, and then share what you've learned and grown. And that's part of what's inside of you. Everyone is unique. So the gift that you have is different than everyone else's. So they're not going to understand it. Only you do. Embrace it. Take all the negativity and let it be washed away. I don't care what anyone says. You're just too optimistic a person. I said, yeah, you're right. I couldn't be any other way. Never had a bad day in my life. Thank you. Let's turn within for a moment. Let's know that positivity is at the forefront of everything that we are, everything that we will ever be. Nothing has ever been accomplished because someone believed they couldn't do it. All we need is an idea, inner desire and the willingness to say yes. Yes, I accept this opportunity. Yes, I will take the first step. Yes, rather than somebody's. It doesn't mean there aren't going to be any roadblocks in your way or wounds that pop up. But there'll probably be a lot. Because other people don't see what you see. They don't feel what you feel. They don't believe what you believe. And that's okay, because they're living their life, not yours. Just like the parent that you nurture whatever your child is feeling, desiring. You need to be the parent of yourself and nurture that space within you that's the child that wants to grow in whatever direction it may be. And know that you have in the system, it's the universe itself. It's just waiting for you to say yes. And inside of that responsive yes is the total answer of how to do it. Yes. Yes, I can do it. Yes, it is my life. Yes. Move forward. Now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Well, then, what you got?
Climbing up this ladder, there's always another run. I thought I'd be at the top by now, but it seems I've just begun. I'm trying to find the meaning where there's nothing that appears, where nothing is what it appears to be. I'm looking for a dream come true in a world of fantasy. And just like the man who walked into the bar and ordered an epiphany, the bartender says love is all there is, and it looks like the joke's on me. I placed my order to the vast unknown and waited for delivery. Funny thing, when it finally arrived, it wasn't what I thought it would be. Now this message keeps repeating every time I try to make my complaint. It says, this is what it is, and what you think it is, it ain't. And just like the man who walks into the bar and orders an epiphany, The bartender says love is all there is, and it looks like the joke's on me. And when it comes to living the dream, we all get the one we choose. One man dreams of winning, the other dreams he's gonna lose. And even though it ain't nothing more than what you believe it to be, follow any dream long enough and it becomes your reality. And just like the man who walks into a bar and orders an epiphany, the bartender says love is all there is, and it looks like the joke's on me. Yeah, be that man who walks into that bar and orders an epiphany. The bartender says love is all there is, and it looks like the joke's on me.
Thank you, Brother Ed. Beautiful. This is our conscious sharing time, so let me put up the donation. So, first and foremost, whatever you decide to share with us, please do imbued with the quality of God we call love. And just know that as you give love, you receive love. There's a bunch of ways you can go to the website and then whatever. But again, do it with love. If I put your hand on it, and let's know it's symbolically, that's the place that love emanates from. And that's what we give. From love, with love, to love. Thank you. And so it is. Amen. Well, we're very blessed because our own Lynn Fuqua is going to do a song for us. Lynn, there she is. I know.
Yeah, laughing is actually quite contagious. So
Yes, it is.
that's it's a good thing to remember. Okay. Oh, so that put me in mind of a different song than I was originally going to sing. So let's try this one. Nothing's impossible. I have found, for when my chin is on the ground, I pick myself up, dust myself off, and start all over again. Don't lose your confidence if you slip. Be grateful for a pleasant trip and pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. Work like a soul inspired till the battle of the day is won. You may get sick and tired, but you'll be stronger, my loved one. Will you remember those famous men who had to fall to rise again? And pick yourself up, dust yourself off. Yes, pick yourself up, dust yourself off. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again.
Thank you so much, love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I'm going to put up the prayer protection. I'd like us all to read this. James Dillard Freeman's prayer protection. Let's do this together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Great words. Great words. Well, this is not the end of our service. So all those of you who are seniors and YouTube, we have another whole section where everyone who's online right now has an opportunity to share their insights and their thoughts and their experiences. We learn from each other. So if you'd like to join us and you be part of that, you don't have to say anything, or you can just listen, or you can share what your insights are. We want to hear from you. Please join us. The website that was on the screen for the donations is www.loveandyou.org. Go to that. On the right side of the page is the topic for the week, and at the bottom of that is a Zoom link. If you come in before 10 minutes to 10 Pacific time, any Sunday, the topic you click on that, you'll be let in, you'll be part of this group, and you too can hear everything that other people share, and also share yourself. We'd love to hear from you. So please do that. What I'll do is we're going to do a prayer to close, and then we're going to stop the recording so you can have an opportunity to share. This is a private time. So I invite you again to turn me in with me. Let's know that what we've spoken about with positivity is something that radiates every cell of our body. We want to radiate the cells to be in absolute alignment with the synchronicity of all of life, with love, peace, joy, compassion, understanding, and all of those qualities that we desire right here and right now. Know that as we vibrate to them, we send that vibration out for others to be able to feel and sense themselves. Become a beacon of light. So let's just bless each other by blessing ourselves first and letting that shine. Thank you, Father, that you speak. So it is. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm going to stop the recording and we'll start our sharing time.